Let's talk about change. Right about now, everyone's overcomplicating it on podcasts, books, blogs, YouTube videos. 47 steps to change your life. Here we go. I want to really simplify this down. I want to give you 4 simple steps that you can use this year to change your life. And maybe you feel like last year got away from you a bit. You want to make a comeback, like the greatest comeback of your life. These 4 steps will definitely help. Really, really hard for you to have the best year of your life and change it if you don't know what you want or where you're going. Here's another angle on this for you this year to think about. Are your goals and what you want outdated? A lot of people are like, yeah, okay, I've already chosen what I want. I want $10 million. I want 2.3 kids and a picket fence. Or maybe the opposite, I don't want any of that. I just want freedom, 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 freedom. When did you decide what you wanted? What stage of life were you in? Because guess what? If you're 30, 33 right now, like myself, it's probably a good idea to reevaluate the goals that you think you want if you set them when you were 18, 21. Clinging to outdated goals that the younger you set is like a dude approaching 50, clinging to frosted tips and affliction tribal shirts, still thinking, I got it, man, yeah. What are you talking about? I still got it. Ex-wife will see what she's missing. Like, you don't have to cling to what you thought you wanted when you were younger just to be consistent. Or just because you sunk 5 or 10 years into something doesn't mean that this year you're locked into that. You can't walk away from that. That's a sunk cost fallacy. That's how people lose their life savings sitting hitting a slot machine because they're trying to just, well, I've been doing this, I'm this far now, I can't quit. That's how people get sucked away in relationships. Oh, I've been dating for 2 years, it'd be too hard to start over, and they're unhappy. That's how people waste decades at jobs. Oh, I've already built my career up to this point, and be ashamed to walk away from that pension. Pause there, because this is it. This is the most important thing. Do you know this year what the coolest thing that could happen would be for you? Or do you know what is a win for you this year? Take 10 minutes and journal, what if everything went right? What would be the 2, 3 coolest things that could happen this year? What do I actually want? Once you've defined your destination, now it's time for you to go all in. Now, this is the scariest step for a lot of people because decision, in its root Latin word, this is very cool. I found this out and it's always stuck with me. You know what the root word of decision is? It comes from Latin. It's 2 words, but it essentially means to cut off. That when you're making a decision, you're cutting off other possibilities or routes that you could have taken. Right? The decision to say yes to marry someone is cutting off possibilities of marrying other people or being with other people. The decision to go to college A is the decision to walk away from B, C, and D. We subconsciously know this with choosing something, and that's why decisions can feel like we're stuck in the middle and we get analysis paralysis, we don't make any, and we just kind of freeze because we know that saying yes to one thing is saying no to dozens, thousands of other possibilities. And we get thinking, what if this is a mistake? What if there's something better down the road? I call that perfectionism hell. Overthinking to death your options. There's something called the donkey dilemma, where there's an old tale of a donkey standing in between a bucket of hay and a bucket of water. The donkey is thirsty and hungry, but he doesn't know which one to go and get first. Hay, water, hay, water. Not being able to make up his mind, he eventually keels over and dies from dehydration and hunger. Now, morbid story, but the point is don't be a donkey. That the donkey, had he gone over and ate, he would have had enough time to go over and drink. You just have to pick one and then you can do the other. Relating that to you is with life, don't be so scared of perfecting the one decision that you don't make any. You can waste decades there, no joke. There's people 50 years old who are still trying to choose their niche and they want to start a business. There's people who are 50 years old, still trying to find the perfect 10 out of 10 partner. They wasted 10, 20 years. Potentially they could have built a family holding out for Mr. or Mrs. Perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. I'm not saying settle. Guys, my company's called Refusing to Settle. But don't wait out for the perfect opportunity. Because here's a personal note on this. The biggest commitments I've made that I've been stoked on, I wasn't 100% sure on, and they ended up working out amazingly. My fiance, Danny, and I got a dog, and he was just a foster dog. And we were kind of unsure about it. We're like, we don't know if we can commit fully, but let's at least sign up to foster. And lo and behold, they win you over. They steal your heart. He was our dog 48 hours later. And he's the best thing ever. It gives me so much joy. Moving to Scottsdale, Arizona from Seattle, I wasn't 100% sure it was going to work out. There's no way of knowing. But I was, saying, okay, let me just commit and test it out and commit that something will come out of it. Starting my business, pivoting multiple times, starting the YouTube channel. I could give you so many examples. And when I trace back to every big moment in my life, I'm so glad I made decisions that I was scared to later on. Looking back, it was 100% the right move. Don't be so afraid of making a mistake that you don't make a commitment. Changing your life, step number 3. This step is to measure what matters. Tracking things is so important, not just for finances or health, but for any goal that you set. I've had years where I fell off and felt kind of burned out and gassed. Things were harder than they were in the past. I was constantly comparing to my old version of myself. Why was I able to post more then? Or why was I more excited about the same thing I was doing then, or felt like I had more energy? And you know what I did? I did something real simple. I just tracked my days. So something as simple as just tracking hours worked. When you're self-employed and you can work all the time, you don't think of that. Getting objective data is the point here. How can you get more of that? There's an old saying, what gets measured gets managed. I think it comes from finances. Like if you measure your finances consistently, you can manage them. You can see them growing or moving in the other direction. Hopefully not. 2 quick rules of tracking. If you're like, where do I start with this? The first, don't track any more than 3 metrics. We see like finance people with 8 different monitors tracking market. That's not what you should do for your goals. Get really clear on the 3 metrics that are important for you and your one thing, okay? The second, review and adjust. So this could be weekly, monthly, annually, all different ones have different benefits to it, but review the data and what is it telling you? Sometimes we're just not giving things enough time to work. That's very true. And when you review the data, you realize, oh yeah, I just gotta stick at this longer. If the trend line is going up or down, whichever way you want it, the only thing you have to do is keep going. So the question, the action step for you here, what's an area that I need data on, I'm just guessing in? And perhaps the best tip I can give you is this one. People have internalized failure and they take it as evidence for being a failure. They say, I've failed at this in the past, therefore I am a failure. Worse, they slap an identity on top of it. I'm not cut out for it, right? That's something you'll hear. The mindset shift that helped me and that will help you is there's no failures, there's only outcomes. I had this said to me when I was in my 20s, maybe 18, by Tony Robbins, and it just stuck with me that there is no failures, there's only outcomes. Like, how different would your approach look if I said, this business that you want will make you $1 million a year, but you have to start 15 that are gonna make nothing and fail. But on the 15th, you're gonna make $1 million. Would every one business that you started and failed feel like a failure? Or would it feel like, okay, check, now I just have 14 more, 13 more, 11 more, 10 more, up until that 15th one? How much more certainty would you operate with? You'd be more excited, you'd have more determination to like launch them and everything. Life works that way, it really does. And you look at the top successful people, they fail a bunch. For me, I had like 400 or 500 videos that didn't do anything, but it was learning how to create content. 3M Post-it notes, those little stickies that you probably have on your desk or somewhere in your house, they were trying to make super glue, a glue that lasted forever, and they failed so badly, it turned into a Post-it note, and that eventually became a way better selling product. It's also too, realizing you learn the most from your failures, that no book can teach you, no person can teach you, no nothing. There's a great saying, when you succeed, you party, and when you fail, you ponder. So if you feel like you're failing in life, that's okay, because you're pondering, you're learning the lessons that are never gonna be taken away from you. Action step here, journal question. If failure is just feedback, what's it teaching me? You do that and you'll find some banger lessons from it. Link down below to our 11 questions that will change your life. You're crazy if you haven't grabbed these already. These are my favorite 11 questions I've used in the journal. You'll be on our email list. I'm gonna start using that a lot more, sending you weekly emails of concepts that we don't have in videos here. Taking a dump, you're at least learning and getting motivated with it. Just keeping it real. All right, love you. See you in the next one. Stop settling, start living. Peace.